Hello, it's me, and we have a viewer request from a viewer by the name of Joey Cubes, and he has this particular configuration. Now, I got it in the same thing that Joey has it, but my coloring is different. This was the very original, first original three-dimensionally printed 3x5x7 by Tom Z. So, in essence, what this is and I think I'll correlate this with one of his sides, but well, we'll do this one here. I think this was his white side, and you can see that this and this are swapped, and this are swapped, and that's basically what that is. All this is the same, but you're seeing a swapping of these two and a swapping of these two. So specifically, how do I get out of this situation? Well, when you find yourself in this, before deciding if this is a brick parity, which it might actually be, is you want to try to match up as many as you can. So you see that these are all matched up over here. So let's see if we can get it in a situation where everything except one is out. So we don't like two being out over here. So this does belong here. If I move this into here and move this into here, these two are going to swap, right? So the best way to swap these two is to do a URF'd algorithm. These two will also swap, but that's okay because I'll just have one that's out over here and one that's out over here. So in your particular configuration, your side, which I think is the white side, go over here and go ahead and swap these two. And the way that you're going to do that is doing a URF'd, which will swap these two and these two. So that's going to be 2U, 2R, 2F, 2U, 2U, and 2F, 2R, 2U. Now the purpose of doing that is to make sure that before you do the brick parity, which means you've got one that's completely in, and in this side there's only one that's out, in this side there's only one that's out, and in this side there's only one that's out. So now you're ready to do the final move, which will get it all solved. So the way that you're going to do a brick parity is you find out what needs to move over to here. So this will move to here, this is going to move to here, and this is going to move up to here. So that's what's going to happen. And this is the left-sided version. So by doing the URF, you got it into your brick parity position where one is in, three sides are out, and of which there's only one that's out. So this is out, and this is out. And just sort of match yourself. In your case, it's going to be the white side. So this white and whatever color this is going to come to here. So the way that this is going to work on the left side is we're going to do a 2F, and then we're going to do a UI 2L, U 2R, UI 2L, U 2R. Then a 2F, they're going to roll a 2L like this, and then another 2F. Then we finish with a 2R, UI, 2L, U, 2R, UI, 2L, U, do another 2F, get this 2L back, and it's done. So the whole key point to that particular configuration that you had is you wanted to get it to its final brick parity position, but you couldn't do that because although you had one in, on one edge you had two that were out, and I think in another edge you had two that were out. You had to do a URF algorithm until you got a position where only one was out, then you can do your brick parity. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Hello, it's me, and I've got another viewer question. This one comes from Tim. And he says, greetings, I was watching your channel and it inspired me to try a type of puzzle I've never solved before, edge turners. Well, congratulations, and I'm glad that you're overcoming some barriers. Anyway, the edge turners are fun. Then he goes on to say, I adore dodecahedron puzzles, so I went right to the crazy Comet. Not that I haven't yet owned or solved a curvy-copter or any other edge-turning puzzles. Wow, so that was very ambitious. My question is that all of my solves seem to end up in this state. And he provided a picture. Thank you very much for that. Am I doing anything wrong? And if so, if not, what is my next step? Thanks, Tim. Well, Tim, I've got to congratulate you because if you've never solved a curvy-copter before, this is really an interesting one to pick up because it's not only the same structure as a curvy-copter, it's actually more of a curvy-copter plus. So you actually got to this last layer and you must have done it intuitively, or maybe you were following the tutorial. But it might behoove you to maybe try to do a curvy-copter or curvy-copter plus first, but really what you have is this side here kind of represents this side over here. So this turning is really a situation where you have just this to go. But the question is, how do you get out of this without having to redo everything? Now, in the way that I do it, it wouldn't come into this situation, because what would happen is that these would already be reduced, and then I would solve them just by placing the edges. So these would already not be in. But here's where we're at, and perhaps you have a way of solving it that worked pretty well. So can we walk through this kind of a situation? And the answer is yes, but you have to know a certain technique that I call the double jumble maneuver, and it goes a little something like this. If I were to do it on this puzzle over here, understand that this move here is this move here, which means that if I go this move and this move, top and bottom, that's like this move and this move. So it might actually confuse things a little bit more if I demonstrate with this, if you haven't used this as a model, so I won't. But the double jumble move basically swaps these two, and that's all it does. Everything else is the same. It does something else. It turns this upside down, but that's not really important for this puzzle because it's not a super crazy comet. But here's how this works. I'm going to do it on the side here so that you can see it. If you hold it over here with this diamond facing you upright like this, and you go to the top right, and you move it up by one click here, not an entire turn. So what you're doing is you're not turning it 180 degrees like that, where you've got the silver on the top. You just turn it to where you have the next color up here. So you just turn it like this, and then you take the bottom one and turn it down by one like this. Then you take your diamond and you turn it 180 degrees, and then you simply turn these one click back. So that was your top right, bottom left. Now you're going to go to the top left, bottom right, and do the same thing. We go up on the right, down on the left, double turn again, and then you just move it back, up and down. Then once you do that, you do one more 180 degree turn like so, and you see what you've done is you've flip-flopped these two. Everything else is exactly the same, but you've swapped these two. So that's going to be a key point in getting these back. Now something else to realize, the orientation of this. When I flip-flop these two, I basically made it go in the orientation like that. So this blue that's in front of us will stay in front of us. So it's not going to be flipped in any other way, where this yellow or this orange is in front of us or anything like that. So to get it back, it's really easy. Flipping these two means this will end up here, this will end up here, with the blue facing us here and the blue facing us here. So up on the right, down on the left, 180 degrees in the front, then down on the right, up on the left. Now, up on the left, down on the right, 180 degrees, and then just bring it back, up and down, and turn this like so. Okay, so that's how you swap these two, and that's the only thing you're going to need to know. Now, the other thing that we're going to make use of is the fact that although it swapped these two, these pieces here, because this is a jumbler, is actually equivalent to this piece. So if I move this into this spot here, this actually becomes equivalent to this area, so I can continue to turn it. I can't turn it here because I'm what's called jumbled, so I can't, but I can over here. So what I did is I took this piece and I put it into this position, even though it's a different piece. When I do that, it can function, as long as it's not jumbled, it can function like that piece. So now I have this over here with the silver in this corner position, so to speak. Okay, so I hope that made sense, because that's what you're going to need to know, how to do that double jumble maneuver to swap these two, and the fact that you can take this and move it into this position, but it's only certain sides that you can take this centerpiece and make it into a corner piece and turn it as a corner piece. Does that make sense? So we're going to be able to do that. Oops, it's a little catchy here. Okay, so with that said, here's what we're going to do. Now, maybe you got it out of this position, you might have something similar. So we're going to solve this kind of in a similar way, because you're probably ending up in the same kind of thing where you have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces that are out. But notice something, you've got 2 silver pieces here. These 2 silver pieces need to be in this position, and these 2 non-silver pieces need to be in these positions. But what you're going to do is you're going to orchestrate swaps. I know I can swap things if they're in these positions over here. I can swap them. When you go down and bisect it down here, you're going to find one side that just has 1 out and one side that has 3 out. So whatever configuration you have, that's probably what you've got. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be using this, and you're going to be swapping these guys. What you don't want to do is put this one in place and have these 3 out and this one in. You don't want to do that because it's going to be very hard to position them. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take this piece, which is a 1 piece here, put it in its respective place, and substitute another piece into here, but make sure it's not the one that belongs here. So for instance, this is purple, green, and yellow. I don't want to move this one in because once I do, I'm going to be stuck. So I'm going to take this, in your case it's the pink, yellow, and silver, and I'm going to move that to here. So this belongs here, and this is going to come over to here, which is fine because this doesn't belong here. So here's what's going to happen. These two are going to swap, and this will be where it needs to be. Then this is going to, then once this is here, we're going to swap these two, and then finally we're going to swap these two. That's how you're going to do it, and you're going to use that algorithm. The trick is placement. So the other thing that we want to realize is if I'm going to put this where it's supposed to be, this yellow over here has to be where this blue is. So this yellow has to be facing this blue. So as it is, you know, obviously if I move this over in this position, this is jumbled here, so it's not going to work. But if I swap these two, this pink will end up here, not the silver, which won't be good, and this yellow will end up here. So I want this yellow to be where this blue is. So ask yourself the question, where can I put it so I can make a swap without causing jumbling? Okay, so basically this yellow has to go where this blue is. So if I have to keep this here, I want to get this to here, but I need to make it to where it's not jumbled anywhere, where I have complete freedom to move this and this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, well, where am I going? Oh, sorry. Take this, and I'm going to try to move it into a corner position here. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to move it to here. So that shouldn't be too hard to remember. Then I'm going to take this and move it to here. Oh, there we go. 1, 2. Okay, what I like about this is this will go in the blue position when I switch it up. However, although this will move, this can't move because it's jumbled. So I have to do one more move, and let's take this and put it into normal position, or non-jumbled position. So I'm just going to take this, see this white here? I'm just going to inch it up over here. I have to remember when I deconstruct it, the first thing I'm going to want to do is move it back to line this up. So I should be able to remember that. And now with any further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and do that double jumble maneuver to get this back. So we're going to go up on the right, down on the left, double turn, down on the right, up on the left, up on the left, down on the right, double turn, down on the left, up on the right, and then this whole thing double turns. So then what I do is, remember I had to get this into a non-jumbled position, so I'm just going to move this back right where this white one is. And now we're going to get things back the way that they were, and it should be easy to follow it around. Like I can see this blue comes over to here, so I'm going to move this over in this position, and I'll take this and I just bump it back into its position over here. Boom. So now you can see this is now in the right position. This is in the right slot to be substituted with this. So the next thing that I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to move this into this slot, and then finally moving this over to here. Now this is the easiest because I just do a jumble move. But I got to get this yellow to line up with this, and it's not lined up. But it's easier to move because I don't have to. It's easier to position in another area because I don't have to do any jumbling type moves. So not too much deconstruction, but I have to move it in such a way to where this yellow will go where this silver is. So let's see if I move this to here, and then I move this to here. Okay, this yellow is not going where the silver is, so it's not going to do it from that angle. So now we just find a different angle. Let's try this side. Remember, this yellow to the silver. This goes here, and this, we'll put this here. And now this yellow will go where the silver is. So that's what we want. Up on the right, down on the left, double turn, down on the right, up on the left. Up on the left, down on the right, double turn, down on the left, up on the right, and now double turn this. So now we move this back down like so, and this back down like so. So now we see this one is in and this one is in. I just have this one to go, so I have to flip-flop these two. And this is the challenge of the puzzle. So I hope you like challenges because that's what goes on with this. So now let's see where we can configure it. We want, well, what do we want? Well, we want this silver to be where this purple is. So this purple goes with the silver. In reality though, if I can get this yellow to go here, that's really what I want. So I want to, if I can get this yellow to here, so I want yellow to yellow. Yeah, so that'll make it even easier. So that's why it's good to end up with that. So let's see where we can go, and it's just a matter of finding where this is. So this is already here. Can I get this to here and see if the yellows can match? That might be a little difficult. I'll have to move this all the way to here. And now I'm going to turn this into this slot here. And you can see this yellow won't end up over here, so that's not going to work. So let's see if there's something else that we can do. Maybe if I can move it all the way down here. So I'm going to move this in here so it's in the corner position. See, it's in the corner position. I'm going to double turn it to here, and then double turn it to here. And you can see these two yellows will swap, and that's not too hard for me to get back. Just remember to double turn here, and the rest can find its way back. We just have to make sure. Now notice I can't move this because I'm jumbled. This is in the way. So if I can remember one more move, if I just turn this over here, now just remember to get the pink back to the pink, and then I just have to double turn this over here. So I'm just going to move this over to here, and just remember to move that back. Now everything is movable. So up on the right, down on the left, double turn, down on the right, up on the left, up on the left, down on the right, double turn, down on the left, up on the right, and then double turn. Okay. And now this double turns like so. Getting that back in. Remember, we double turn this over here, and we simply take the jumbling out of here, and boom, it's solved. So these two were swapped. So if you find yourself in that position, again, I'm not sure how you got it there. It's a slightly different way of solving it than I do, but kudos to you for figuring it out. But if you ever get to that last layer, just remember doing those double jumbles, you're trying to swap these guys, and it's a matter of positioning. You're going to have to deconstruct and reconstruct the puzzle, but as long as you know that you're just swapping these two, you can put it in any position that you want. So hopefully that helped, and the next time you solve it and you end up with a similar configuration of 3 being out, remember, look at the 1 that if you go down 1/2 of it, you see 1 that's out and 3 that are out. Keep flip-flopping back and forth with that one until the final one that goes into here is the one that you swap with. So hope that helped. Keep the questions coming, and good job on how far you got with that one. Thanks for watching.